Yo, what's going on, people? This is your boy Theo, and this is Shakedown. This is episode 55, catching up with Sam from We Love Beauty. And here is Sam. You
Hi.
remember before we got her on the previous Shakedown uh, episode. I can't even remember how what episode that was, but we had her on, and we spoke about well over it is a year ago. It was roughly a year ago, and
I think it was just the first lockdown.
first
Yeah.
lockdown, the first lockdown. So this is a follow-up episode. So I'm entitling this "Catching Up with with Sam from We Love Beauty." UK. And yeah, so first of all, Sam, it's been a year. I know we speak more or less every day since
Yeah.
then, but like where are you now? How are you doing now? When can we see your salon reopen?
So I think the roadmap says the 12th of April. So for hair and beauty. So hopefully everybody can go and get a haircut and beauty treatment soon. So not long. I think it works out as 2 weeks away, I think we're looking at now.
Hmm.
So I feel like a kid at Christmas. You know, when Christmas can't come long enough and there's only a few days, but it feels like a million years away. That's actually how I feel about the salon opening. It is so close, but I just feel like a kid, like it's far, far away. So can't wait. I just cannot wait to see my clients, to see my people again, and just like do what I do, because I'm a beauty therapist and a wellness therapist. So I just can't wait to see actual people again. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah. What have you been getting up to from these lockdowns?
I did start doing some lives just on makeup. So I'm not a makeup specialist. That's not my specialist, but I'm nearly 40. So I'm not far away now. So 2 years away. And I just wanted to do kind of something more of just being 40. I think is the kind of vibe of it all. People always say your makeup looks good. Um, how do you keep your hair thick? Just little kind of things like that. So I just kind of wanted to do, just basically show people what I do every day, being 40, really simple makeup, how I'm looking after my hair, how I'm dressing. I'm trying to keep fit at the moment. So I'm like exercising now and just generally being 40, maintaining how I look or trying to maintain how I look, and just being a mom, being a businesswoman, and trying to keep myself together as best as I can. So that's what I've been doing, just little lives on that basically.
Definitely, definitely. So we've got so much to talk about in this show. We've got I've actually have written down some of what I was supposed to what we're talking about. Uh we got Derrick Jaxn. We're going to speak about that. We're going to speak about the George Floyd. We're going to speak about Lil Nas X. We're going to speak about the country, is if this is a racist country or not, even though the report came out today said that it's not. So we're going to speak about that, and we'll speak about the fallout from the Harry and Meghan interview as well. So there's loads to catch up on,
Yeah.
so loads to catch up on. And the reason why I wanted to do this is, well, to be honest, it was actually Sam's idea for wanting to do this video, because she felt that obviously these are issues that has to be speaking about, and she wanted to do things on a female perspective, because obviously this is a man show, man orientated show, and excuse me, and just because that she was the first female guest on Shakedown. This is so important to actually do this show where we can actually have a female guest to actually get on. I'm hoping to have more female guests on as time goes on, because I really feel like it's important that we speak to women. We kind of understand that. We're going to speak about the Sarah Everard thing as well, which is partly towards the Harry and Meghan kind of thing. It's not connected in a way, but it has some sort of connection.
Yeah.
So we'll speak about that as well. So that's popped into my head as well. So without further ado, we're going to get started with Derrick Jaxn. Now, Derrick Jaxn is a relationship guru, and basically he built up a following. He's written books, and he's made appearances. He's done a lot on social media. He's helped so many couples, single people, that be able to with their issues and everything else. And I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, me personally, I have listened to him, but there's other relationship gurus that I listen to. So I listen to people like Apollonia Ponte. I listen to people like Jessica J. I listen to people like Coach Natalie. Like, from the top of my head, there's a lot that there's many people that I listen to. It's not just him, because I like to try and get a few bits of opinions to be able to gather all together to be able to understand and everything else. But in Derrick Jaxn's position, he ended up cheating on his wife, and came out and admitted it. Basically, there was an expose from a journalist called Tasha K. And I covered this on my YouTube channel, on my Real Talk video, which you can see up on the cards right about now. Basically, he came out and just literally defended his wife and everything. His wife is actually staying with him and everything. So I feel like his relationship is in tatters now, because the cheating, obviously, I don't agree with. When he spoke about that and everything else, I was trying to make heads and tails of that. But what do you make of it, Sam?
Yeah. Just as a person, like, people make mistakes, like, people cheat, people do things in relationships that the other person doesn't like. So that's really hard to comment on, because that's his relationship. But as a guru or a therapist, whatever how he pronounces himself, it's not great for him. Because if you're there, like, oh, I'm a relationship therapist, listen to me, like, I'm going to guide you through your relationships and you're going to have a great, happy life, but I'm here cheating, it's not great, because people are going to look at you and be like, well, how can you give me advice when you're running around the town doing this, that, and the other? It's not going to be good for him with his job. So as from a job point of view, I just don't think it's going to be good for him and his reputation. Personally, I wouldn't go to somebody like that. So I would be like, that'd be my thoughts. I'd be like, how are you going to give me relationship advice when you've just been running around town making a fool of your wife? That I'd be like, nope, I'm not listening to you. You have nothing to say. So relationship, as a therapist wise, I just don't think it's great for him. As a person, just like without who he is, a guru or a therapist, people do cheat, people make mistakes, and him and his wife will have to definitely sort through that themselves. It's hard, because like I've said, if I was young, I'd be, no, it's over, done, and finding somebody new. I've been in a relationship for 9 years, so I think, to be honest, I don't know what I would do, but I know I put a lot of time, a lot of love, a lot of effort into that relationship to make it work. So I don't know if I would let my partner have another chance. It definitely would. There'd be a conversation. I think there would definitely we'd be talking, and seeing where we can go from there. A lot of relationships do sometimes have these little weird, I'm going to call it a blip, but it's a bit more of a blip, but you know, have something happen and they move on from it, and they're stronger. So yeah, it's hard as a couple, a personal couple, without being in the media or who they are. You know, I think, yeah, you know, these things do happen, and they happen often sometimes, you know, so they just need to work through that. Hopefully they can work through it and be better people. But from a job point of view and what he does, that is not good. I know personally I wouldn't go to him then for advice or relationship advice. I'm like,
it's a shame, you know, to be fair, because I was actually shocked to learn that he was married. I thought when he came across and he spoke about things, and I thought to myself that this is a guy where he was seeing people and it didn't work, or he was with them for a while and everything else, and this is what led him to do what he's doing, what's been doing.
Yeah.
And then as you go along and then you meet somebody and everything else, that becomes nice and it's natural, that kind of thing. I mean, I just felt like, because I've been watching his stuff ever since the fallout, and he's been talking about it on a religious sense. Personally, I would have actually kept this thing private before coming out, because it is a teachable moment when he comes out and says something like this. Like, it's a teachable moment to say, I've had times where I've came about and everything else. I mean, it was when do you remember the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, like the entanglement that happened and everything else, and I was there thinking to myself, okay, this is what they were doing, and they came out and they explained themselves and they spoke about what's happened, and as far as I'm aware, they're still together. They're still together. Like, it's just that obviously when they came out and they spoke about things, and they didn't want to be able to say that, well, yeah, this, that, the other, or whatever. This is what they've done. This is what we're doing now, and then we just kind of left it to be. But in the case of Derrick Jaxn, as I say, I don't know how he's going to be able to come back from that. And also, it's just going to be difficult for him to just do what he needs to do. So but his wife Denia, I've seen her, sorry, and heard what she has to say, and I was worried because I wouldn't blame her if she had left him. I wouldn't blame her, none at all. Nobody would have been able to blame her if this was the case. But she's staying with him now. Now, obviously, when you married and everything else, that you, like you say, you do a lot to kind of want to make it work. So I'm guessing that's what they're doing now. But following this, it's just hard to predict where Derrick Jaxn is going to be happening, because we know in lockdown it's going to be difficult for him to do appearances, opportunities, and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen with him, but we are going to watch the space and see what happens. It's just nice to get a female perspective on this on this debate. Moving on, so right now in America, since he's American, we're moving on to case in America. George Floyd, the trial is going down as we speak. It's been in 1 year since the incident happened. We've all seen the video of George Floyd. He'd been on the floor, been stood on, knelt on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Now, it came about in the trial that it was actually 9 minutes and 46 seconds. No matter how much you can actually spend on it, it's terrible for a man to endure his last life doing that. The defense say that George Floyd was intoxicated with drugs at the time. which eventually led to his death. That's according to them. It still doesn't actually help the fact that he has been treated in that way when they could have actually handled this completely differently. But how do you see this trial going down? Because to me, I know that the family was paid out $27 million in a settlement, but that's not gonna bring George back, and that's not gonna change anything. We know what money can do, and everything else, but it's still another black man that's died in America. It sparked protest, not just here in America, not just over there in America, but here in the UK. A lot of people actually said at the time, saying that this has got nothing to do with us. No, this has got everything to do with us. Everything to do with us. I mean,
yeah,
but yeah, what do you think about it?
I think this isn't just to do with like being black. The police shouldn't be kneeling on anybody. No one. There was so many ways they could have dealt with that. They could have handcuffed him, put him in a car, put him in a van. It doesn't matter if he was running either side of the van and knocking himself out. Do you know what? He was in there, whatever. Same as if he was in a car. You see people kick inside the cars trying to get out. But he would have been in that car safe because it's lockable. Like, you can't get out from the inside. So he would have been handcuffed. He wouldn't have been able to move very far. And he would have been in an enclosed, safe space. Why are the police kneeling on people? Anybody? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just... I'm trying not to swear because it makes me so upset and angry that the police are doing this. Like, it doesn't look good for them. And like I said, it does spark off protests. Do you know what I mean? And when you're seeing on the TV, like you said, another black person dead, why is this happening in 2021? Like, I just do not get it. The police just they definitely need to be held accountable for that. I don't think the police should have the powers to kill people. Like, there's no way. Why have they got the power to go and lean on anybody, kneel on somebody and take their life? Like, I can't go and do that. Like, if I go and kneel on anybody's head, what would happen to me? So how come police officers can do it? Do you know what I mean? So they need to be held accountable for that. They still took somebody's life. They need to deal with people better. People shouldn't be dying in custody. People shouldn't be shot at. None of this. There's so many cases, and this is why everybody's up in arms. And I think everybody should stand together, no matter if you're from the UK, Germany, wherever. People should stand up against this because things need to be sorted from the inside, from the police. So they should be doing better training, better ways to handle people, because I've said it before, like, in certain situations you do have to manhandle people. There is jobs where you have to handle people. Nurses have to do it, doctors have to do it, certain schools have to manhandle children, but you get training on that. You get training on how to touch people, how to restrain people in a safe way, so you don't hurt yourself, but so you don't hurt that person and do any harm to them. Now, the police do have that training. They must do, because they are touching people. Okay, so why are they killing people? They shouldn't. Like, I just don't get. Well, I do get it. They're just, I can't even swear. So,
well, if you do, it's all right if you do.
Yeah, there just needs to be more from the inside. They just definitely need to be held accountable for taking anybody's life. They shouldn't be taking people's lives. They definitely shouldn't be kneeling on people and obstructing airways. That's like rule one, you know, in any job. Like, you know, that shouldn't be happening. And they should do something more for people working inside the police, that if they feel somebody is racist or a paedophile or a rapist or any of these things that can happen inside the police force, they should have something where they make other officers confident to come forward and whistle blow, basically, because I just don't know, people aren't coming forward and basically snitching. I know snitching is seen as a bad thing, but come on, you're putting somebody's life at risk. You're not just snitching for somebody smoking a bit of pot down the road. This is actual, you know, they're taking people's lives and doing harm to people. So they need to be confident to be able to basically whistle blow on their colleagues, and better training. Maybe there isn't enough screening done when you join up to the police force, because I don't know. So I don't know if they've got to go through vigorous checks. Maybe they should have mental health checks to make sure, you know, they're normal, average people. Are we allowed to say that? But just like, you know, they're not crazy people, you know, and make sure their history isn't linked to racism or anything like that as well. You know, have they checked their past? You know, have they checked their social media? Have they checked like their churches if they go, because I know church is a big thing over there, so have they checked their, like, you know, churches and stuff, that just not that they're linked to any, you know, outlandish things or cults or anything like that. Have these checks been done properly, so they're not then meant to be looking after us as people? Remember, they're there to help us, and they're taking people's lives. It's like, why is a policeman doing that? What, like, this shouldn't be happening. They should have just handcuffed him, put him in the car.
I agree.
And done with this. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Why are they leaning on people's heads? Why are they shooting people? Why? It's like, these people, we are meant to trust and look after us.
It's hard to be honest, because, like, you know, when we all saw the video and saw what happened, my instinct was for one, somebody just like pushed them off, and then somebody could have actually stopped this, because of the fact that obviously they carry guns and everything else. They can pull them out and just like, and that's it, you know. And I've been reading, not reading, I've been watching the snippets of the trial so far. And it's going to be interesting, because we know that the trial is going to go down for at least a couple of months. I just hope that the family do get some forms of justice some form of justice. It's up to the jurors, really. I know for a fact that there is 3 white people, there's 3 black people. I think there's 3 white, 3 blacks, one mixed race, and I can't remember. I do know that there's going to be a very mixed, a very mixed jury, and I know that that's the case. But it's just going to be difficult even for the family to do, because, you know, it's something that they can't endure again, because they're bringing up all of this stuff that's happening, and I do feel sorry for them at the moment. And I know that $27 million was given to them by the settlement, but it's not enough. We need to be able to get these people accountable, and hopefully it's going to change, because this is the biggest trial. This is the biggest trial in American history, and indeed I think in the world. The last time that last time that we had a trial like this was Michael Jackson's trial that went down
Yeah.
some years back. That's the last time that happened. To be honest, and yeah, like it's just a case of where we need to be able to see what happened and to be able to look at this of a fine-tooth comb, and just hopefully there'll be the officer Derek Chauvin we're talking about here. Um, let's hope that he gets the full force of the law, because he disrespected that badge. Let's be honest. He was on that floor. George was on that floor for a reason, and he should never have had to have been. I think they could have handled it a lot better than that. But
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and
I
see.
hope it brings change.
Hopefully we'll see what happens. I mean, I of course will keep an eye on it, and I will report on my YouTube as to what's going down. So from the trial, in terms of the police concerned, obviously we got the Sarah Everard case that's gone down here in this country, and it sort of follows from the Harry and Meghan interview with Oprah Winfrey. It was International Women's Week, and then obviously you got the fallout from Piers Morgan, effectively quitting Good Morning Britain. And obviously it was a stink of a week a few weeks ago. I tell you, it was just crazy. I felt like I do feel like at that point, it's like obviously with people in terms of the police, because I'm trying to still make sense of the situation. Because obviously the gentleman, I wouldn't call him a gentleman. Let's not call him a gentleman. The man who who allegedly killed Sarah Everard will face trial come October. Now, I was annoyed at the fact that it's going to be so long deep into the thing, because what's going to happen is the trial's going to begin. Everybody's feelings is going to be raised from what happened a few weeks ago, and the weeks stunk, to be honest, and I just hope that there'll be some sort of justice for Sarah. But from a female perspective, I imagine you went through something that's like this. Walking on the street, you have a man that's coming about, and they call to you and whatnot. How do you feel about everything that went down?
So I must say, I've been lucky, let's touch wood, everybody, because I've never really, thank God, felt unsafe. I don't know if it's because I keep myself quite safe. Like growing up, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere without my brother. So, I was always with my brother, so I was never allowed out without somebody there. And then come a teenager, I was a bit of a wilder teenager, but I was always with people. So I was always with people. And now as an adult, if it's dark, like one of my boys will walk with me, or my partner will drop me off, or I'm always quite safe. So touch wood, I've never had to, I don't think so. And when I've been to nightclubs a long time ago, like my brother and his friends would walk back with me. So, and I think that just shows how kind men are. I don't want anybody to think men are like, oh, they're so bad and they're preying on women all the time. Like, look, I've brought my boys up to make sure they walk women home. Don't let them be on their own. They've always walked me back. They will come and meet me and pick up my shopping home. We were brought up quite old-fashioned, I guess. Like, so my mum never carried her shopping bags home. Me and my brother had to do that. And then when I had the boys, my brother taught them, Mummy don't carry her shopping bags. You carry the shopping bags. So you know, I don't want people to think that men are out there just stalking women and being, because it's not the case. I've had like really good relationships with men and have good experiences with men in general. But with that, again, it was a police officer, you know, and I just feel it wasn't just somebody lurking in the corner being weird. This was somebody of trust taking that trust and just, it's just horrible. Do you know, I just don't have any words for it, because the words are swear words. And I just feel like, you know, we've gone from a police officer taking a black man's life to a police officer taking a white woman's life. So to me, it's like, yes, there is race things, but why are these police officers there who are meant to protect us and doing these things to people? Even if somebody did something wrong, I just feel like, put their handcuffs on, put them in the car, put them in the cell. That's it. There's no in between bits. You know, you don't need to headbutt somebody. You don't need to kneel on them. You don't need to do anything else. So I just feel like I don't have no one to trust, because things have happened in my past with race, not to myself, obviously, but towards like my family who are mixed race and black. So I feel like I can't go to them because of that, because I did and nothing got done. And now seeing a woman like be murdered by a police officer as well, I feel like, okay, so I can't even go, because am I in danger? It's, I don't know. I just don't have no trust in them at the moment. I feel I couldn't go to them because I'm a woman now, and would I be safe there? I definitely know I can't go to them on anything about race, because I did do that for my family and didn't get no support. And seeing everything on the TV now, I'm like, I don't know.
It's really bad. It's really bad now, because, you know, seeing the visual that happened. I mean, apparently the report came out saying that the police did a very good job. I think it could have been handled very differently. Like, I think obviously seeing them, obviously the women that like caused those scenes and everything. Obviously there was a lot of anger towards them. They see a police officer and they go, right, angry. You shouldn't be wearing the uniform. Shame on you. You know, you're there to protect us and everything. I can honestly share the anger in which this is happening, and I couldn't even figure out why and all that stuff. So it's like, it's just like I said, it's just been a crazy week. I mean, even so, you had the fallout from the Harry and Meghan interview, and I watched it all in its entirety, and I listened to what they had to say, especially with what Meghan's saying, and then Meghan came up with a few very serious comments on the interview. First of all, she was talking about her son Archie's skin color with the family. That was a hair-raising thing, to be, no, sorry, not hair-raising thing, an eyebrow-raising thing, I should say.
Yeah.
Because it's not a conversation where you want to be able to talk about someone's skin color like that. It's not someone like that at all. I don't agree with that, because they should have known that Meghan is mixed race, therefore the baby will be mixed race. It's just depending on like what skin tone the baby's going to be. But I think what they should do is just love the child, no matter what skin color comes out and everything else. As long as the baby's got 10 fingers, 10 toes, fine. Even if you got there's a disability, because like I'm very conscious of the fact that people babies can come out disabled and everything, and I'm literally one of them, even though I'm not totally classified as disabled. I could have, but that's the story for another time. But yeah, I just think that that we need to be able to do it, to be able to believe women when they say that they're going through something. Because the other thing that that Meghan has talked about was the fact that she was feeling suicidal. Now it led to Piers Morgan saying that he doesn't believe that she is suicidal and everything else.
Yeah.
But where I come from, and especially in my line of work, you have to believe them. There's no ifs, there's no buts, there's no coconuts. You have to believe in what the person's saying. You have to take it on face value, and you have to give them help as much as you can. Now, I've been hearing that Meghan has been denied help within the royal family, even though they champion mental health and all this stuff. They got the charities going on and all that stuff. Why couldn't they get access to actually help them? Why? Isn't it because it's the scene that they're being weak or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it is hard because you'd think they'd have access to all the best things. I know she was pregnant at the time, when she was feeling suicidal and everything. And this is the thing, hormones can trigger off things. Hormones are the worst thing for women. One day you can be absolutely fine, and another day it could trigger off things. Pregnancy triggers off things. Pregnancy does trigger off things in women that can stay or just go as quick as after you've had the baby. I feel women are probably more not in tune with themselves, but kind of like I think we're more we take on more. So things can happen, like depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. I mean, it is there in men as well, especially nowadays with all the pressures. So nobody can say that, oh, she was lying, or she was telling the truth, or she made it up, or she didn't. Only she will know how she felt in that moment. And I can't imagine just being far away from home, because she's from America, so she's not there. She's here. She wouldn't have had a mum about, which would be a big thing. Like, you ask any woman, they normally want their mum about when they're pregnant or coming to give birth. So that's all going on. You're not just with any old family, you're with the royal family as well. So you've got paparazzi about everywhere. Somebody's writing a story on you every bloody minute of the day, be it true or not. And then you've got all these little other, well, I wouldn't say little things, all these other things going on, like oh, people wanted to know how dark or light Archie was going to come out. Do you know what I mean? And for her, she'd be probably thinking like, what the is this really happening right now? So all these things are building. So for her, it was very real for her. It might not be important. Well, why does it matter? Like, if your kid's white or black, just accept it. But for her, that's happening to her life, her baby. She's got all these hormones going on as well as all the paparazzi, as well as being in the biggest family in the world, as well as being away from her mum. Like, I think I would have had a meltdown as well. I'd have actually just cried, told everybody to go to hell, and locked myself away in the castle. That'd be me. So it's hard. It is so hard. To be honest, I didn't have anybody ask me what color my son would be. I didn't have that. He come out he's quite dark. As you could have like Harry and Meghan. Meghan's quite light. but actually could come out really dark. You know this. It just depends what comes through. You know, my daughter is white, but she's really tanned, bright green eyes, long dark hair. It would have come through from wherever, from back in the day. So, you know, you just never know. And as a mum, you don't care. You know, you're just like, oh, whether they come out. You just hope, you know, that the pregnancy is healthy, you're healthy, the kids are healthy, and when they come out, you know, it's a blessing. So to have all these things happening around you, is he going to be white, is he going to be black, is he going to have ginger hair, is he going to have afro, like, you know, and it's not just people saying it. She would have had the whole media around her saying things, you know, and I feel like she was always compared to Kate as well. You know, because she was our first princess, you know, and Kate's very, I like them both. Very, you know, she's the typical perfect princess, I would think. I do think Meghan shaped things up a bit, but that's what I liked about her. You know, I do like that about her.
Yeah, like I found it refreshing when she first came into the royal family, and then we're going to get married and everything else. It was just different. Even the wedding was different. I can remember there was somebody that told me about the pastor that spoke at the wedding, and he was speaking. He was going on for a very, very, very long time, and people asked me like, is he supposed to go on for that long? Like, is that even normal? I said, yes, that is normal. That's how we do things. Believe it or not, because he had a script. He was initially supposed to go with, but he went, screw it. I'm just gonna do things in a different way, and that was it. But yeah, and then obviously this rift with Piers Morgan came about. Let's just briefly speak on this. So Piers Morgan had dinner with Meghan, and basically she ended up ghosting him, and he was very, very sour about that. And you know, even Piers himself talked about the situation, about how they met in the first place, and now he's got a vendetta against her. And then it led him to come off Good Morning Britain. He walked off because Alex Ferguson. He's not the only person that called him out on his comments towards Meghan Markle. Trisha Goddard has come and tried to call him out on it. Dr. Shola has spoken to him about it. It wasn't even a good look. Him walking out, and then subsequently him quitting the show, to be fair, because, you know, he can give it, but he can't take it.
No.
That's what I felt for me. And even when I read his article the other day, I felt like, you know, he could have actually handled that so much better than he should have done. But I will miss him on Good Morning Britain. Today, we don't know who's going to take over his place full-time wise. At the moment, we know it's Ben Shepherd. So that's the safe thing, but we don't know who's going to actually do it. The Good Morning Britain ITV hasn't made that announcement yet to find out exactly what's going to happen. Right now, as we know, it's business as usual. Now, I would love it if Alex Ferguson did become the new lead anchor in Good Morning Britain, because there's not been many people in power that have primetime positions. Not many, especially in British television. Yes, I grew up with Sir Trevor McDonald. I grew up with Angelica Bell growing up in the CBBC at the time. And yeah, there's not been many people around. Even Andy Peters was like, again, CBBC growing up, but like there's not been many people that does primetime stuff. So in terms of a person of color. So what do you make of Piers Morgan's comments. I mean, like I admit that I miss him after
Yeah, I
his win
do
for
miss
anything.
him. See, I like Piers and I like Alex. I do like them both. I feel like Piers should have just stood his ground and said what he had to say. I don't think he should have walked off, because it just made him look worse. I would have stood there, because everybody's going to have an opinion on, oh, she was right, she was wrong. I think you're treading a very dangerous line when you're saying, like, no, there's no such thing as mental health, or she didn't have, or he didn't have mental health, because like I said, that is a very personal thing to you. Only you know how you feel. So that is hard, but he should have still, even though what he felt, he should have stood there and stood his ground and explained why he thought he was right. So yeah, I'm a bit kind of disappointed he walked off. I do like Piers, but sometimes he wouldn't let people talk, and he talked over people, and it was like, oh my God, he just shouting and ranting now, just shh. But now he's like total shh, and now it's really boring. So it's like, oh, okay, who are we listening to now? But I do hope like Alex or like anybody of color will come in and do something on like more channels, because like you said, there isn't really anybody about. And it's a shame, because like I've got nieces and nephews, I've got mixed race nieces and nephews, I've got black ones and Asian ones, and it's like United Nations in my family. It's great. So I want them growing up seeing different kinds of people, different religions, everything. Why is it just, I don't know, a white person, blue eyes, blonde hair situation? Do you know what I mean? Why can't we have everybody and everything? Is there a problem? Like, I think it's really good for everybody to see, because if you look on CBBS, like they've got people with disabilities on there, they've got people of color, white people, everything. And it's good, because then children are growing up seeing all different types of people from different backgrounds, and then they grow up knowing that it's normal for a start. Then they grow up knowing, oh, that person's like me, oh, like he's a different color, or she's a different color, oh, she doesn't have half her arm like me, or she's got a disability like me. So then it's just kind of normal. They see it, they grow up around it, and not just for like, oh, that person's like me, but even for, like, I don't know, say my daughter's just your average white girl, okay? But then say if she sees loads of different cultures on TV, that means she grows up being more accepting of people. Do you know? So it's not just for, oh, they're like me. It's for other people to know that they're there as well, that it isn't just white person, blue eyes, blonde hair. That's not the world we live in. We live where everybody is different. And it's good, because then they're like, they see somebody in a wheelchair on TV, and then they see somebody in a wheelchair in a supermarket. It's just normal. Oh, they're like so-and-so off CBeebies. Oh, excuse me, I'm just going to get my bread. It's not an issue. Instead of like, oh my God, that person's got a wheelchair. Oh my God, that person's black. I've never seen a black person before. Do you know what I mean? It's just TV gives us so much. I don't think people realize that it gives us a lot. It just shows us that there's different colored people, there's different religions, there's disabilities, there's just a whole world out there, and it just shows everybody how to, I'm gonna say, maybe manage themselves, if that's the right word. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, if you're seeing somebody in a wheelchair on TV and then you see him in the supermarket, it's not, oh that God, they got a wheelchair. Like, what do I do? Do you know what I mean? You just like, oh, excuse me, I'm just getting, and it's a normal thing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you see a black person, oh hi, yeah, I'm just getting my bread. It's things should just be normal, not oh my God, like what do I do around this person? So it's really important to have all these different people on TV for just to have people act normally and for children to grow up and see these things as normal, you know, because we live.
Like obviously, case in point, most recently, there was a all-female panel on Loose Women the other day, and I don't watch Loose Women. My colleagues who are women watch Loose Women. I just happen to sit down there, eat my lunch, and I see what's going on. And I saw that for the first time ever that went down, and I thought that was really, really interesting because that just shows that there has been a big change in terms of what, excuse me, in terms of what they're doing and everything else. And I do think that, that sort of thing that needs to change in television. There needs to be more of a representation out there, so that at least then people can actually say that, oh, I can do this, or I can do that. So it'd be nice to see what can change.
I think, well, yeah,
Uh,
definitely, and I think especially for anybody, like you say, Alex. So he does the weather at the moment.
yeah, it's
You
just
know,
really annoying because you know what really annoys me is just the fact that people say that, you know, he's just a weatherman. He's got
yeah,
no place in presenting a TV show and everything else. Who's to say that he can't do that? He can't do it. He has done it before, but who's to say he can't do it?
yeah. I
Because
don't like that.
like
Yeah,
it's like with every job that you're doing, regardless of what you're doing and everything else, you build up skills. You build up skills. You don't build up knowledge, and then you get promoted, right? You may not be in the same field or whatever. You probably could do a completely different job altogether. But it's these things you learn about yourself, you learn about the person, you end up becoming adaptable, and you know you end up being someone just more than who people expect you to be. And I do get very, very annoyed about the fact that people have done it. It's not just that. It's not just this incident. Satalan Ibrahimovic, he came out and said that LeBron James should stick to basketball, whereas LeBron James has just recently owns the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox, the baseball team.
yeah,
He's opened up a school in his hometown of Cleveland called I Promise. He has spoken about Black Lives Matter and everything, and also he's about to start in the new Space Jam movie coming out this summer. So he's done all of those things, right? And people, so it takes someone like him to say stick to basketball because that's what you're good at and everything else. Just because you are good at doing a certain job doesn't mean you're going to be doing it forever. Sometimes you're going to have an
yeah,
opportunity that's going to want to push yourself, that's going to have a way of actually making you better than you already are now. And Addison's just taking that, and people think that whenever he comes on Good Morning Britain, he's smug and all that stuff. And I just look at people and I just think to myself, like, you guys just need to just chill out. He's not a guy that's come in and he wanted just to completely take over his job or whatever. He is a guy that's trying to be positive about what he's doing. He does it. He never got to a point where he didn't even said. I should actually point this out. He never even said that that he wanted to get
yeah.
Piers Morgan to be to lose his job and everything else. He never wanted that to happen. Never. Um, and at the end of the day, right, he's not that sort of person. I don't believe he would have that many side of him to actually get to allow this to happen. He just simply called Piers out on what's happened, and Piers couldn't take it.
Yeah.
Right, and he ended up walking away. which is very, very, very silly of him to do so. And when I saw that, I was like, what has happened here? And then they spoke about the things, but they didn't really speak about the situation between them two. They wanted to kind of keep it on track about what they're doing, which is fine. But I still feel like there was some sort of there was tension there, to be honest. And it's not nice when you're, because I don't like, what I like about Piers Morgan is like, yes, he gets debates, he gets talking about it and everything else. A lot of what I do is kind of reflective on what he's talked about during Good Morning Britain.
Yeah.
And now, right? And now he's the first time ever he's spoken about what's gone on. I read what he had to say. We know that he's still going to stay with ITV. He's not going to go move to another channel or whatever. He's still going to do bits with ITV. The show is going to be different. Like, yes, admittedly, I miss him on it, but he wasn't going to apologize. I mean, like, and I know that ITV has taken a nosedive in terms of the viewings, so it's just a bit.
I just hope they do.
Sorry, what did you say?
I was just hoping they do more with Alex, and there's a few other presenters on there I'd like to see a little bit more. Just do a bit more with it. It's got a bit kind of like boring, but I don't think Alex should just be a weatherman. I don't think it, like you said, like if I was just, I started off as a mum, I had Jamie at 17. So does that mean I should just stay at home and keep on having babies? Should I have gone to college, bettered myself and become a therapist? It's that, isn't it? Like, oh, well, you just stick to being a weatherman. Well, why can't he elevate himself and take himself to the next stage? If something comes up within ITV, why not go for it? I think he done really well with that. What was the other show he done? They go around Britain or something.
All around Britain.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, I hope to see him in other things. I think he carries himself well. He talks really well. His Twitter and Instagram is always nice. He's not one of them celebrities where you see him falling out of a nightclub. Not that anything's been open, but like, one of them kind of celebrities. I like them celebrities that carry themselves well, don't swear, not drinking, doing drugs, falling out of nightclubs with whoever. So, I like an all-round good celebrity, and him being mixed race is great as well, because then it like shows young men or girls somebody to look up to. Look, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not on road. I'm on TV. You can watch my Facebook, Twitter, or whatever he has, and you can't see me do nothing apart from the weather, presenting. All-round good person to look up to, and I think that's what we need. We need more good people.
That, definitely.
For people to look up to and be like, oh, do you know what? I'll come a weatherman. I'll come an astronaut. Whatever anybody wants to do, but we need more
representation. We need more. Definitely. We need more representation. We need more people that's actually doing stuff that make people go, okay, because I just don't understand why we don't have a lot of people that we look up to. There's no heroes left at the moment that people can say, yeah, this is what we do and everything else. I mean, I think people that mostly, like, if you speak to kids nowadays, most of them would actually say, I want to become a YouTuber. I want to become an influencer. Yeah. And like, look, like, it's far big for me because, like, for me, I am a YouTuber. The thing is, though, is just that right now I'm just doing this as a hobby. If this takes off, if this thing all changes for me, then yes, I will deal with it. But obviously, I've got my other job that I do and everything else. What I put in the time and effort to do what I'm doing on my channel. So I'm doing that I'm doing that and everything else. So I do want to try and see, hopefully that it can all change, it can all be better. But we'll have to wait and see. Right. So moving on to the last bit. Lil Nas X. He is a rapper. Sticking with his celebrities, he is a rapper, and basically, he had a video called Montero, and he had a custom made Nike Air Max 97s on there, and it had satanic decorations on there. Now, he went through a company in which customized his trainers and everything else, and then they began to sell stuff online and everything. Nike distanced themselves from this because it's nothing to do with us and everything else. It's been featured on the video and everything else. So, and I know Nike is like not like completely intimately because I'm just a fan. But if there was ever if they're watching, yes, please sign me up. I do wear your stuff. But yeah, anybody that knows me that knows that I've been wearing Nike for a long time, since '96 to be honest. And that hasn't really changed. Annoyed some, but some people that's like, okay, that's him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the trainers was on the video, and basically Nike themselves are going to sue the company that has customized the trainers, because Nike isn't about satanic worship and all that stuff. Like they don't do that stuff. I know that for a fact. I also know for a fact that they would have announced that they were going to do something with Lil Nas X. They would have seen that there would have been some form of a collaboration. But right now it's just about protecting themselves. It's not just so much about the money. It's just protecting themselves, protecting their brand, protecting what they set out to do. And you know, Nike was set up in the 70s, 1972 to be exact. And they started off with a waffle iron shoes on the bottom of the shoes, and then they developed into how they were today. Their original name was Blue Ribbon Sports. It was a small little store in Oregon, and then they managed to create the world organize the world headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, and yeah, like listen, I'm with Nike on this one. You know, they shouldn't have like in Lil Nas should have actually thought better in terms of them doing what they should have been doing and everything else. Even if he had spoken to them and said to them, look, hey, listen, I've got these customer trainers. I'm not meaning anything by it, whatever. He did say that now, but before he didn't even say anything to confirm all that stuff and everything else, which makes it a bad look, to be honest. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think Nike definitely are doing the right thing. Because like you said, you don't want to be associated with certain things. It's not a good look for them as a company. And they are a trainer. Well, you know, they do clothes as well now. So, you know, they need to be seen to be available to everybody and anybody, not be associated to a group or a cult or anything like that. So yeah, I'd be doing the same. You know, if it was my label and somebody took that and started like, you know, putting whatever on there, and then you get associated with that, it's not good for you. You know, that's your brand. You want to protect your brand, and it's a worldwide brand, so it is available for, like you said, anybody, any age, any color, any religion. Anybody around the world can say they've probably owned a bit of Nike, you know, so they can't be seen to be associated, especially to something like that. It's not even putting a certain color on, is it? It's not a color, it's not got butterflies on or anything like that. It is a bit of a, you know, thing you don't really want to be associated with, to be honest. So So yeah, protecting your brand, I'm all for it. Even if he put bloody butterflies all over it, and they were like, nope, I want it on there. Why not? That's their brand. You know, that's theirs, not anybody else's. And as a celebrity, he could have probably even stepped to them anyway and been like, right, I have this idea for a trainer, and they would have got their advisors on it and everything, and probably been able to work with him and brought out a good trainer anyway. So it's kind of like, no, he just went off and done it, knowing that he probably wouldn't have been able to get that authorized. But I just feel for him, he could have gone a different way. He's a celebrity. He could have got a meeting and they could have worked with something really good. I mean, maybe not putting Satan on it, but he could have had like fire on there, had it red and yellow, and just a nod in that direction, but not the whole. Do you know what I mean?
They could have done something. They could have done something a lot better than that. But
yeah,
I just hope that, like, obviously with Lil Nas, he learns from this situation, because I know he's a gay rapper that's come out and he is trying to do things. I haven't heard of his music, but I've learned about what's going on and everything else. And Nike is important to me. It's important to me personally. I know the brand. I know what it stands for. And you know, and at the end of the day, it's just not good that that this has happened and everything else. I know that that's why when it comes to TV, movies, all that stuff, when they're trying to do the thing, because you know, you get into the habit where people think that, you know, they're promoting this, they're promoting that and everything else. Not unless they say that they are. They don't want to give the company the free publicity or whatever. They want to do that and everything else. That's why you don't see a lot of things happening like this nowadays. Before it wasn't that much of a problem, but now it is. So yeah, it's one of those kind of problems. But yeah, so we are going to end it there. Sam, where can people find you?
So I am on WeLoveBeautyUK. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then I got my lashes. I'm wearing the Brianna lash today. And that is at Lashing Studios. That's my Etsy shop. But if you just type in lashing, then you find my lashes. So I'm doing lashes as well at the moment, strip lashes. So yeah, I'm about everywhere.
Okay.
But
yeah. Look, I've known Sam for a very long time. I think I've known
a few years now. Yeah.
I think I've known her just about 5, 6 years, something like that. I've known her for a long time. Basically, and to be honest, I respect her for how she's been able to handle herself over the years. And you know, she's, like she said, that she's not just a mother, she's ended up becoming a businesswoman, and now she's trying to really really crack on. And I know that obviously many businesses out there who are in the same boat as her, wanting to try and get things moving again if they can possibly can. So I'm rooting for everybody, you know, in the coming months. I just do hope that, you know, things can happen for them, because none of us are going to take anything for granted again. None of us. And I just hope that that's going to be the case. I feel like obviously this lockdown thing, when it's over and everything else, like in my head, it's not going to feel over yet, but gradually it's going to stay with me. Not really, it's going to stay with me forever, but gradually as I get back to life and everything, going back to the gym, going back to cinemas and everything else, it's almost going to feel like it's going to be relearned all over again. So we'll just have to wait and see how this is all going to come about. But we have to, like, you know, continue to do what we need to do. I mean, what's been good is that we've been blessed with on-demand TV. We have social media. We have Zoom, where, you know, we can all communicate with each other. I know it's not the same with meeting up with people and everything else, that physical nature and everything else, a simple hug and everything else. Even in my job, like, you know, patients not being able to be seen by visitors and
Yeah.
everything else. It's heartbreaking and everything. So it's just tough. But we'll get to the end of this year, and hopefully we'll get Sam back on so we can catch up again to see how she's doing in terms of the clients and everything, keeping up and everything else. So hopefully we'll get her on. But yeah, thanks for watching episode 55 of Shakedown, and I'll be back with another video in soon. Don't forget to check out Sam, We Love Beauty UK. You can search for it. Search on social media in particular. She's got all of her stuff down there, and she's doing the lashes as well. So I can't even speak today. But like lashes. So if you check those out, hopefully you can do a great deal. So yeah. So yeah, it's good talking with you, Sam. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll be back with another video soon. Please stay safe. I'm out. Peace.